Hello and happy Monday. I hope y'all had like the best weekend and you're making it through Monday. Monday. It is. Yes, it's the blues here. It's a little bit chilly here today, so it's feeling like fall weather and I'm just like not ready for it. But we are going to go in today with just a few things that have been hitting the headlines, and it all has to do with it ends with never. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Grab your emotional support lip gloss because we are going in. You are in frame with Mandy Magnan. In the last video that was brought to you, we did a deep dive on the whole messiness with Rebel Wilson. There is a huge legal battle going on right now between Rebel Wilson and everyone else from The Deb, a musical that premiered last year at TIFF in 2024. It seems like Rebel Wilson is accusing the producers of a whole bunch of stuff, including sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, all to do with another actress, as well as embezzlement and a few other things. The producers are claiming defamation against Rebel Wilson, as well as that she's making all of this up, and there's suing each other. And now there's also a production company who made the film who is now suing Rebel Wilson as well, saying that she defamed the film on purpose through the Instagram account, the actual official movie Instagram account. She went on a huge crash out, publicly accusing everyone on the film of doing some wild things. And now that production company is claiming that Rebel Wilson did that in order to drop the value of the movie so that she could buy it out from them and have it, all to herself. And now the actress who Rebel Wilson is claiming was sexually harassed as well as had to endure sexual misconduct on set is also suing Rebel Wilson. She gave her a 28-day notice that in 28 days, if there's no resolve, that she would be suing her as well and it would become a lawsuit. So there's a lot of things going on there now. And of course, Melissa Nathan and Jed Wallace are involved. Apparently, allegedly, the producers are claiming that Rebel Wilson hired Melissa Nathan and Jed Wallace to create this website called Amanda Ghost Lies and completely defamed her on there using racially motivated tactics. That's kind of to sum her up. And also, this all started through a mentorship program. Rebel Wilson has a mentorship program to help young women artists. And actually, the writer of the film started through that mentorship program. And yeah, Rebel Wilson allegedly just wanted more credit after the film. She wanted a full writing credit as well as like a music deal, I believe. She says that she was promised a music deal and never got it, and also wanted a full other credit. And when the producers said like no, that's when this all kind of started. And the thing I'm most concerned about here is the young woman. Imagine getting cast in your first big film. You're working with, probably one of your biggest stars from Australia, and you get this big role, and then all of a sudden the star of the film starts saying that you were sexually harassed and that you had to endure sexual misconduct, all the while you've been denying it because in your mind nothing was, everything was kind of above board apparently. That's what the actress is saying. She says that she's been denying it since the beginning for over 2 years. And then the actress Rebel Wilson, with millions and millions and millions of followers, starts boasting on the movie's Instagram account about how you're denying the claims of sexual harassment to further your career. So now she's claiming that this actress was fine, I guess, being kind of groomed, they're claiming, or Rebel's claiming, by Amanda Ghost, the producer, and she's denying all of those accusations because she wants to further her career. And it kind of sounds like sleep your way to the top in a way. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what it seems like to me. Now, through all of this, right, Brian Freeman came up as being the lawyer for Rebel Wilson. And I was like, dang, Brian Freeman usually always, kind of supports the little guy, the underdog in the fight, if you look at all of his cases from before. And then it just came out, and thank you for sending this to me. Amber, who commented on the video, letting me know that Brian Friedman allegedly has now dropped Rebel Wilson, and that came as of August of 2025. So I did look into that. I can't really find any information except for this article, which was from The Hollywood Reporter, and it does say until last month, Rebel Wilson was represented in the case by Brian Friedman, Baldoni's lawyer, who was allegedly involved in efforts by Nathan and her firm, TAG PR, to undermine Blake Lively's reputation in retaliation for speaking up about sexual misconduct on the set of the film. The last part, whatever, but it does claim here that until August of 2025, Brian Friedman did represent Rebel Wilson, and I guess now he doesn't. That's all the information I've been able to find, but I will be following this case as closely as I'm able to. Blake Lively has come out and saying in a very rambled answer at this Pop NYC thing for her Blake Brown that she is very shy. This is a tale as old as time. Blake Lively claiming that she is a very shy person. Super shy, very shy. I mean, wow. We should pull up all of the interviews where she is just so shy. I say this is his tale as old as time because Blake Lively has been claiming to be shy since forever. She claimed to be a very shy person also in August of 2024 while also being on the cover of Vogue with Hugh Jackman. Yeah, Hugh Jackman and her did this photo shoot. It was very interesting timing. And she claimed and quoted in that article as well, "I'm a very shy person, so I don't like doing photo shoots really." She tells the outlet, "Because when I'm acting, I'm playing a character and I don't feel super comfortable in front of a camera. It's part of why I don't want to be in magazines." As she's doing a cover shoot for Vogue, she says, "I don't want to be in magazines." Okay. She continues, "I know it's something I'm not supposed to say. I mean, this is, I think, the first cover I've done in 4 years because I'm just too shy." But Lively doesn't let her shyness show on camera. Not for the September 2024 issue. Lively stars as the Cat alongside her good friend Hugh Jackman. Okay. It could also be possible that you didn't do any covers or any shoots or anything like that. One, because you didn't have any work coming up, but also two, because you were popping out babies. The second oldest kid was in 2019 and the oldest was in 2023. So, you know, I don't know about all of this excuse, but it's a nice cover to hide behind that you're a really shy person, because then we see you go and do all of this stuff and you don't, like, that's shy. Wow. And this wasn't the first time Blake Lively has claimed to be shy, but what I think was very interesting is how she rambled onto that and then name dropped right at the end. Let's just watch this really quick clip, and there's more. There's more.
Really, when I am my most beautiful is when I perceive myself as beautiful, when I feel confident. Yeah. And so fragrance is really important to us because it was like, how do we internalize the experience of beauty? And it's more expensive to do it that way, but it's so rewarding. I just love, I'm a very, very shy person, and I always say this, but I'm in a very strange industry to be shy. But yet I hear that I heard that Will Ferrell was really shy, and that just broke my brain when I remember hearing that a decade ago. But it makes sense because in this industry, when you play, and I've met a lot of people, actors who are incredibly shy in real life who you think are very, big personalities.
So that came from the Daily Mail, and they kind of tore apart with the headline that says Blake Lively's very awkward return to spotlight as she swerves deposition drama to sell hair care products. And they say that she was very awkward. Okay, and then she says that about being shy. And it claims that she was just rambling, which is no surprise, because if you ever heard Blake Lively talk into a microphone ever, all she does is ramble. And I thought what was very interesting is the name drop, specifically Will Ferrell. Why would she name drop him? And then I remember that it was very interesting as well, and something that I was extremely mad about at the time is when she name dropped also Giselle Pellico at the Time 100. Now I thought that was very because if anyone knows Giselle's story compared to what Blake Lively is claiming, what is going on? But she definitely did talk about her also.
It's an interesting thing to be called influential. It's most definitely an honor, but what does influence mean? By definition, it's the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something. To have an effect. That's not only an honor, it's a significant responsibility. How we use that matters. Who and what we stand up for and what we stay silent about, what we monetize versus what we actually live, matters. I have so much to say about the last 2 years of my life, but tonight is not the forum. What I will speak to separately is the feeling of being a woman who has a voice today, and since I could speak, because of the pain, caution, and fight of the many women who have paved the way and the men who stood beside them. Millions I will never know the name of, because every life, every act, big or small, affects another. Before I say more, I want to warn that I will speak about tonight covers trauma, so please feel free to step away if you need. My life was influenced most by my mother.
And then literally doesn't give any time to step away. And she doesn't even, she's going to bring up Giselle Pellico and then talks about, I'm going to be talking about trauma.
They're sitting here tonight, Willie Elaine McAlpin. That's my mom. She's an eternal optimist, and she's always leaving me messages, hooping and hollering and saying, "Whoop, life's just a bowl of cherries." It's true, always. And she'll get your number tonight, and she'll leave you those messages, so please be warned.
No, she won't.
But at her urging and her unwavering bravery, she wanted me to share with you that she is a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman. I've watched her conceal her raw and undeserved shame my entire life. So as her daughter, being asked to share this today is monumental. If we name it, we change it. Just as our fellow Time 100 honoree, the incredible Giselle Pellico, put it to every woman who understood, it's not for us to have shame, it's for them.
Then did you see her mom look, cry? Should she cry? Look what, I don't know what she says, but it's definitely something like that. Watch this.
Not for us to have shame. Giselle Pellico put it to every woman who understood.
Watch the mom.
Not for us to have shame, it's for them.
And if this wasn't the most ridiculous thing, I'm sorry that I put you through it again, but it's interesting, her name dropping, because even if you look at Blake Lively's claims, alleged claims, they have not, like Giselle Pellico. Are we being so serious, Blake? But I thought it was interesting that then she spoke and she name dropped Giselle, and now she's name dropping Will Ferrell. And I think it is, of course, so that you, when you listen, relate her to those people. And Will Ferrell has a pretty good reputation, I believe, as being a nice guy, funny, light, gets along with everyone, allegedly. So she's attaching her to that, just like she attached herself to Giselle Pellico so that you would see that they're both survivors, right? And I found this interview back in 2014 where she's also claiming to be super shy, Blake. So real shy girl. She's a real shy girl, but it was interesting, not about the part about her being shy, but I thought this part was rather interesting and what she thinks about men directors. This was from doing red carpet and press tours for The Rhythm Section. The Rhythm Section, and the title of this is Blake Lively admits she's a really shy person and likes rocking onesies in real life, which is very interesting because I just read an article where Blake Lively says when she's at home she likes to dress up. So that's already like not true. But what I found in this wasn't about her being a shy person. What I thought about this whole interview was the most interesting thing she says when she talks about male directors and how it's a male gaze and how she couldn't have done this if it was a man directing it. And I feel like that just tells me everything I need to know about Blake Lively and how she felt about Jamie Heath and Justin Baldoni, in particular Justin, because he was directing.
I love that the family is out to support you tonight.
Oh, I know. I got my mom and my sister, and I didn't even know if they were coming. I called her last night and said, here's my credit card, get on a plane, text me if you come, and then she forgot to text me. So,
She just showed up.
yeah, she just showed up. So, yeah.
That didn't happen. Your mom forgot to text you that she's flying in to come to your premiere. You just said your mom texts you every day. Every day. Life is a bowl of raspberries.
You are literally dressed to kill for this role.
In the movie or right now? I know, I sort of feel like I'm a really shy person, so when I have to do this sort of stuff, I have to be in character a little bit, or I would just like curl up. And I really like wearing onesies in real life, so this is like, you know, you gotta be in character a little bit.
You're so funny.
Funny, onesies, they're amazing.
I mean, they are, but I just love that you're.
Yeah, she's a very shy person, so she hates doing all of this stuff and dressing up and red carpets and interviews.
Well, it was really interesting to make this movie with women. So we had a female producer, Barbara Broccoli, who's, you know, Mrs. Bond. She's everything James Bond. And then Reed Morano, who, you know, from The Handmaid's Tale. So women who are tell incredible stories, stories about powerful women that aren't just specifically for women. You know, they're very universal. And I think that if I would have done this movie with a man, from my experience, it'd be a little bit through the male gaze. Like I would have been.
If she would have done this movie with a man, it would have been through the male gaze from her own experience.
Dressed like this for most of the movie, and with a man, from my experience, basically for women. You know, they're very universal, and I think that if I would have done this movie with a man, from my experience, it'd be a little bit through the male gaze. Like I would have been dressed like this for most of the movie, and the life that she's in would have been hypersexualized and glamorized. Even in the beginning, you know, when she's at her lowest, they would want her to still be sexy, and I think that it's neat to see her be a human and be at her lowest, and then find her.
How do you know that? She's literally claiming now. In this, I feel like if it was a male director or any male director, they can't shoot a movie without over-sexualizing the lead actress. This is very damaging for any male directors that are going to work with Blake Lively. I mean, this was a long time ago, but even for her to just say that, I feel like is wild. So it's Blake Lively saying that if a male director would have shot this movie, the character from her own experience would have been overly sexualized because it would have came from the male gaze. Okay. Well, I feel like that tells me a lot about what she thinks about male directors and how she feels in her own experience how working with a male director would have been over-sexualized. So that's very interesting because now look what happened with Justin Baldoni. But let's just take a look back just for funsies. Let me see if I could find it here on exactly what happened with getting the rhythm section out after it was finished. This was an anonymous statement given to Be Better when all of this stuff kind of was coming out about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni was filing all of his countersuits, and all of this stuff started coming out that Blake Lively hijacked the movie. And this wasn't the first time, and it wasn't the last. I mean, she tried to do it with Barbie. She's done it with other movies. The amount of stuff I know about this woman is against my will. No, I'm just kidding. But this was a message that was sent to Be Better from an anonymous source, and it had to do with the rhythm section. So it does say, after seeing the retaliation Lively is engaged in with you, I feel compelled to speak on the little I know. A family member of mine works in entertainment management, and everything I'm saying of what I heard is from them. They've also know someone who is a business/working relationship with Blake and Ryan and is friendly with people around their circle, but only a small portion of this current info is from them. Here's everything I know, and it's not a whole lot, but I hope this helps. First off, Hollywood's environment is closest to high school. Everyone talks, and this situation is currently at the center of much discussion, given how much sway Lively and Reynolds have. People who privately supported her were friends of Reynolds and Lively are turning their backs as they see their ship imploding very soon. This isn't the first time Ryan and Blake attempted to take control of a project. I know of an instance involving a 2020 film, The Rhythm Section. This time the director, Reed Moreno, who is a great director. She was nominated for her directing in The Handmaid's Tale, we should say. She's a phenomenal director. Was siding with Lively. In many ways, Lively was the de facto director of the film, having equal say as Moreno on set. Moreno was okay with this, as it says he, but she isn't incredibly well known and understood the star power behind Reynolds. Meanwhile, the producers, Barbara Broccoli and Michelle Wilson, who are from somewhat well-known but have barely produced any non-bomb films, focus more on British projects and are kind of isolated from Hollywood, offering little to no benefit for Moreno's career. Knowing this, Moreno chose to hitch his career behind Lively and Reynolds instead of the producers. The film's production has even halted at some points, mainly due to clashes between Lively and the producers. In the battle with the producers, Moreno sided with Lively and stalled the release, holding the film hostage until Broccoli and Wilson caved. I encouraged you to watch the film. It's terrible. It's the Lively cut, and it's simply awful. The film was greatly underperformed at the box office. In turn, Lively took time off, most likely told to by Ryan, given the massive failure the movie was at their brand, but I don't know this for sure. I'm just guessing. Anyway, it keeps going on and on and on, but this came in, and who knows, true or not true. I mean, but the film really didn't do well. I mean, the rhythm section completely it was not good. It was supposed to be Blake's, comeback, big hit. It was like the female James Bond. But it really, really, really did not do good. I mean, they lost a lot of money, and it was being reported at the time that this was a huge bust for Blake Lively. It does say here that the release date got pushed many times. It got pushed 3 times in order for Blake Lively to be able to promote the film in the wake of welcoming her 3rd child. And that when it did a test screening, it actually scored one of the worst tested titles in Paramount history. Ugh. And just looking at her IMDb, she needed It Ends With Us to succeed. She needed It Ends With Us to be big and huge, because if you look at what she had done previous to that, it was The Rhythm Section, which only grossed $2.7 million on a $50 million budget. Then she only did the voice for If. She only did the voice for Lady Pool, even though the writer wrote Lady Pool because of Blake Lively, allegedly. Her husband didn't even have her on the film, okay? That probably stirred up a lot of insecurities with her. And then she had It Ends With Us. And It Ends With Us needed to do well, which it did. But she needed it to do well, and that's why I think she started taking control. Because again, if this failed, or, she was going to fail too, because her last hits, definitely there was nothing else there, okay? Her last big movie that was supposed to do really well did not. So coming back on the screen again, after now having your 4th child, she wanted to make sure I don't think that she had any respect for Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, or anybody on Wayfair. I think she thought she was so above them while her best friend is out touring the world, Taylor Swift, while her husband is, now doing Deadpool versus Wolverine. I mean, he took over so many franchises. He took over the Blade franchise. He took over the Deadpool franchise. And now she was like, you know what? I'm going to make sure this succeeds, and I'm going to take over this franchise. And I think because she had just, had her 4th baby, as well as not even being able to play Lady Pool, her husband got another actress, a stunt double, to play Lady Pool, while Blake Lively was awarded just playing the voiceover for thus Lady Pool. I think started to stir up a lot of insecurities about her, and that's why even in pre-production on February 17th, 2024, Blake Lively shares concerns It says here, Blake Lively shares her concerns with Justin Baldoni about having her body ready for forthcoming sex scenes. And she says to him, right here, right in pre-production, says, thank you for the voice memo. It is deeply appreciated. You are everything you promised to be as a collaborator. Thank you. I know my job here, and this piece is in big part my job here. We both understand the assignment as actors in the roles, but also as producers and also as marketers. We understand artistically, yes, but we get what we need to do in all aspects of this movie commercially. She was already thinking commercial, box office, maximum effort, promoting the film. She was thinking of this film commercially being her big hit that was going to have to be like a massive hit to like put her back in the spotlight and stand on, you know, her big platform with all of her other people in her life. She was already thinking in pre-production, commercially shooting this film so it could be a big blockbuster hit, not about the story. It's right here. And all aspects of this film commercially. As woke as we both are and work to be, this movie requires a certain aesthetic. It's part of the job that we both excitedly signed up for. I don't shy away from it because it's not problematic. It's the assignment. Like when someone is about to start an athletic event, it's their job to be in top shape. My husband and I both look at certain roles as athletic events. And this is one of them. Well, you know what you do in athletic events? You win. There's a winner and there's losers. And this is one of them. It's not always a part of the job, but on this one it is. And that's great. And as much as I'd love to not think about it, that would be irresponsible and also impossible because it's unrealistic to not acknowledge what I need to do. This is my job here, and I meet my responsibilities with extreme work ethic. I look for solutions to achieve my high goals instead of lowering my goals. We all win when we're each firing at our highest capabilities, and you and I both are, and will continue to. I just need as much time as possible because I just had my 4th baby. I understand that you'll never personally know all the nuances of the challenges unless you lived this physically moment in time. I'm with this physical road ahead, so having you understanding and supporting to help me pull this off is critical and very, very appreciated, not just in my experience now, but also healing from experiences past. You have trauma, unhealed trauma, Blake, because what does Justin Baldoni have to do with any of your past experiences? And very, very appreciated, not just in my experiences now, but also healing from experiences past. So thank you. He's not here to help you heal from past experiences, girl. He's wanting to make this movie. And when you hire an actor, you hope that they are ready to take on the role. Period. Immediately. Let's do it. What are we talking about? We are going to kill it and be so fit they have to Lola us to look less banging. Then Justin just liked it, okay? He just liked the message. Then she writes, kicking ass, but it's still a ton of work with not a ton of time. What's the chance we can do body scenes at the end of the schedule? Justin writes, I'm sure you are. Honestly, there's 1 billion moving parts to schedule right now. I just turned into rewrite and that they are hard at work. So much of it comes down to the locations and other cast availability, etc. So to be really honest, I have no clue. I want you to know you will look amazing. Anything you are insecure about, we will talk through and get creative together and make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need. As soon as I have a rough schedule that's even remotely accurate, I'll share it and make sure the team keeps this in mind as well. He catered to every one of her needs. And I think it's interesting that she said in that one interview with Rhythm Section that if it had been a male director, that her character would be over sexualized and da-da-da-da-da, and it would be through the male gaze. And now she's even saying in this one text that she's healing from past experiences. So if you put all of this together, it just seems like this girl was not ready to shoot a movie. She was not ready to go to camera, and she really has little to no respect for male directors. And, you know, she thinks that she's being over sexualized all the time when it comes to men. But who created that system? Blake, because look at all of your interviews. Look at all of your, oh my God, the advertisement for her Betty Boos. I mean, look at all of the stuff. Like, I don't know where she got this past experiences from. But it seems like she brought in a lot of unhealed trauma from her past, as well as a lot of probably self-sabotaging insecurities, and completely threw all of that onto Justin Baldoni and all of the Wayfair people, in my opinion. And now we know that Blake Lively is shy, but we also talked about how Ryan Reynolds, it's being reported that he was really rude to that kid. We went over the little snippet of it in the last video, but just as a reminder, there is a kid interviewer asking questions at the TIFF red carpet, and Ryan Reynolds was like, okay, hurry up, what's the question? And a lot of the internet was torn. Tons of people were saying how rude it was, and it was very, like, you know, dismissive of him. And then he even, like, looks to the adults to try to get, like, the people around to, like, approve of him being funny, like, yeah, jokey. Well, Ryan Reynolds has come out with a statement. Half the internet I saw people's comments that were saying, oh, the internet's so soft now, the world's so soft, like it's clearly his humor. And then the other side, the people were being like, no, he's very dismissive and rude, and he's being rude to the kid, and then looks up for, like, you know, approval from the adults. I think it probably would have been better if they just didn't say anything, or just went with saying, like, it was just a joke. Like, it was a joke. That's Ryan Reynolds. He's funny. He was just joking with the kid. But their excuse was that Ryan Reynolds was being rushed. So they say here, and they talked and gave a statement to, this is coming from page 6, but it does say here that a source told page 6 that Reynolds was in no way being rude with the joke, but was simply pressed for time on the carpet. The TIFF staff was closing the red carpet and rushing Ryan inside. They said he couldn't stop for any more interviews, and he did, in fact, stop for the kid reporter on his own, as he has spoken to him many times. Then it goes on to say, he was in no way being rude. There were a lot of other reporters trying to get a question in which why he bent down to the kid to have him ask the question. So there you have it. Ryan Reynolds claims he wasn't being rude to the kid. He stopped by his own good heart and noticed the kid, and says that he's claimed that he's talked to him many times at events before, and that was just like him being funny because he was being rushed, so he was just like trying to get the question in. I don't know. When it comes to the courts of It Ends With Never, this was just filed literally moments ago. They are asking for an extension. So this was filed from Blake Lively, and she's saying that all parties agree. So this is coming from Wayfair, allegedly, Jed Wallace, all the Jones Works, etc. So they are asking to extend the deadline from 30 days. So they want to extend the deadline for the completion of expert discovery by 30 days, from October 15th to November. So on October 10th, deadline to exchange opening expert reports. October 24th, deadline to exchange expert rebuttal reports, and November 14th to be the deadline to complete depositions of experts. She does say down here, everyone agrees, which is great. She does say here that Miss Lively and the Jones parties previously moved to amend the case plan to extend the close of fact discovery by 6 weeks to run concurrently with expert discovery, which was partially opposed by the Wayfair defendants. The court partially granted the parties' prior request, and all parties consent to the relief requested herein. Something interesting that they say is about the depositions. So they're saying that the parties' next scheduled appearance before the court is a post-discovery status conference scheduled for October 21st. The parties have met and conferred and agreed that such extension is appropriate and good cause. And it does say that all of the depositions should be done by the end of September. And it says that approximately 30 depositions are currently scheduled to be completed by December 30th, with the majority of such depositions scheduled in the final 2 weeks of September. The parties agree that such extension will allow all parties the opportunity to incorporate additional and essential document discovery and testimony into any expert analysis, and that no party will be precluded by such extension. Oh, that's so sweet. The parties have not previously requested any extension of the deadline, and extending this deadline will not affect the trial date set by this court. It's really interesting that she ends with saying the parties have not previously requested an extension of this deadline. And then right above it says that Miss Lively and the Jones party previously moved to amend the case plan to extend. You have? Anyway, I don't know what's up with that, but you can't say that you've never asked for an extension of the deadline when literally on the page before that it says that you did ask for it, and the Wayfarer people were opposed to it, and the court only partially granted the request. But anyway, depositions are coming, guys. Depositions are underway, and we should be getting a lot of them coming from the end of the month. Other than that, the only other thing that happened in the courts that we haven't talked about was Source Intelligence, who Blake Lively was trying to subpoena. They are the ones that allegedly worked with Wayfarer to make the website. They have been transferred now to the Southern District of New York, so they were trying to file motions to quash the subpoena. They were kind of going back and forth with Blake Lively's team, and the judge ruled that they were going to transfer that order to the Southern District of New York. So we will see what happens here with Source Intelligence, but it does say in some the exceptional circumstances justifying transfer to the motion to compel to the issuing court easily outweighs the slight burden on the respondent, and that they are going to send it to Judge Lyman. And other than that, the court of It Ends With Never is very quiet. It's very, very quiet. Nothing's really going on right now other than that letter to try to get the extension. So we'll see what happens. But that's it from me today. I hope y'all are having the best day. I have a couple of special videos coming out for you very soon on a few new things. They'll be quite shorter. And yeah, an interesting little deep dives and some things going on, especially with the Beauty by Blake and some stuff on Jones Works and Stephanie Jones. And now I am off to go see Eleanor the Great at TIFF. It's at 5:30, but you have to be 30 minutes early. I'm super excited, so I'm gonna go get ready for that. If you haven't joined the membership program yet, please do. It's a subscription, monthly subscription, where you get videos that you won't be able to get if you're not part of the membership. And it's all about mindfulness, mindset, just entertaining and inspiring and motivational things, as well as goal setting and a little bit of a cool accountability group. And yeah, I'm sure if anything, you'll be fully entertained, if not completely inspired. And it's just a little place for us to connect on kind of a deeper level. So definitely join that membership. You could just click join channel. And yeah, I think that's how you do it anyway. But I will be back later on and I will tell you how Eleanor the Great was. I'll give you my full review and we'll chat some more. So I hope you're having the best day. But drop your comments. Let me know what you think. Is Blake Lively just a real shy girl? Who knows? Anyway, have the best day. It was a pleasure. If anything comes out of the courts or anything else drops, I will definitely be here to inform you. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon, babes. I love you. Thank you so much. Bye.